Okay, we're going to look at how to create a spiral staircase. You'd think it'd be this thing, which it's not, but there are some other ways. There's a helix you can create just automatically, but I'm going to show you how to create anything and then spiral it so you're not dependent on specific primitives. First off, we just need a cube that has some integer of 16 going up and down. So I'm going to really make this one, let's see, probably 16 times 4, 64. Okay, so it's going to have a subdivision of 64 going up. It's also going to be flat, and this will be a single length one, so it can be whatever size you want, because this you can actually change. This will be the base, and then we'll make a step that will repeat. The other thing I want to do is move it up 0.5, so it's directly one grid point high. That way I can measure everything on the grid points. And then you can scale it up if you want to, or be more grid points, but it just needs to be a specific amount of grid points so we can pay attention to that later. And that's these individual integers. But first off, let's make it a little thinner, and I'm going to begin by twisting it. And you can find that under Animation, Deform, Nonlinear, Twist. We want to, again, that's Deform, Nonlinear, Twist. You want to go to your twist in input, change your end angle to 360, and then now we have to move this over. We just got to move it in the right plane. If we move it in the wrong plane, it gets wonky. It's not in the right direction. So I'm going to move it this direction. Looks like on the X over however much you want. This is just how big the spiral staircase will be. If you look at it from above, it should circle back to itself, which means you can repeat it going up, so it can be hundreds of layers high. So first off, just kind of figure out how big the center column is going to be, and of course that can just be a cylinder. There can be more to it as well, twists and helix and whatnot, but just knowing what the center column is going to be. And then I want to add stairs, so we will add a step, individual one. Let's start with one step, and this is going to be specifically 16 stairs, but there's a way that we can match all these steps to the one above it. But first off, we just need one step, and then I'm going to move my pivot point to a place where it will be rotated from the center. So I hit D and then hold X for grid point snap, and then I want to snap to the center point so that it's rotating from the center. Now it's going to go up. There will be 16 of them, so I have to divide it by 1. So if we go to our calculator, we have 1 divided by 16. That's going to be the amount of translation each one will go up. And then the other, and that's in the Y, the other number we need to divide is 360 by 16. So first off, if we're going to duplicate this up, we can use duplicate special. We come here to the option box. We're going to create an instance rather than just a copy. Eventually we'll create a copy for the final, but the instance will help us match all 16 to the one above it. And then what you want to do is in the translate, we put in 0.0625. That's because there will be 16 of them. I've already got one made, so it'll be 15 copies moving up. It'll be rotating, and that rotation will be an integer of 360, or a dividing number of 360. So 360 divided by 16 is 22.5, and so it should go all the way around if we're rotating it Y in the middle and moving it up Y. And then now if there's 15 copies, I'm going to keep them connected to the world and not under the parent, but they'll all be instances, which means they're kind of repeated objects. Whatever I do to the one on the ground will happen to all of them. So let's say duplicate special. Does them all, but it does it backwards. That's because the rotation should have been going the other way. So Let's do duplicate special once more, but a negative rotation this time. There they go all the way up. Now we can pay attention to them individually and even snap them to each other if needed. We can think about kind of how big they are going to be. We can also work on them the polygonal way. So if you move things around, squish it, all of them will change. But what we want to do is kind of get them to integrate into each other. So I'm going to add just a step in the front, step in the back kind of thing. And we can rotate one, even kind of move it over and kind of match where the previous one is. And then you can even snap vert to vert, but you don't necessarily need to. You just need them to interlock. If you want it to be a, say, a totally sealed shell going all the way up, we can snap them, and that would be by, let's just extrude one up, and then I'll extrude one more, and this top one will be snapped, but we don't want the interior to exist anymore. Anytime you snap to another, you have to lose the interiors, because otherwise you have interior polygons. In this case, I'm not going to move the one down here at all. I'm only going to move this one on the top so that we can have one that's snapped exactly. And I can snap the entire plane using V and holding on the arrows and mousing over the arrow that I want to snap to. Though it doesn't seem to want to do that because it's probably snapping to... It doesn't like snapping to other instances, which is kind of funny, but it should. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't want to snap to the instances. So that does cause a little bit of an issue. It should work, but Maya decided it wouldn't. And then what I can do is get it pretty close. And then when I do kind of my final one, I'll snap it. So let's see. Let's get them almost overlapping. And this one too. So it's basically trying to match the front as much as possible. We should be able to snap the verts once I make these not instances, but a individual object. You can also do that by duplicating one. It's no longer an instance, so now I can snap it. I should be able to snap exactly to those verts because of it's an object that is not an instance. It doesn't want to snap to itself if it's an instance. Here we go, though. Now it's snapped, even the bottom one. And the top and the bottom one, eventually we can snap it all together and say that it's a sealed staircase. But for now, I just want to make sure that I'm grabbing the non-instance, and I think all of these still will be able to move together because I never deleted them. Now I just want to do any fun stuff to begin kind of what is the quality of modeling. I want to do lift it up a little bit so it's not interlocking with the lower one. Now I can even come in and start to do really painstakingly beautiful edges and make sure that everything is curved correctly. You can do a lot of these with twists, but this way is much cleaner, and the grid system will be easier to manage. So now you can see it's a full staircase. It just needs a little more modeling love to be beautiful and interact with the base correctly. If I pull that out, yeah, you can see there's like a little lip we could have. But yeah, that's it. Here we go.